Welcome to Season 3 of the Get Set podcast, an old girls entertainment production. We are so happy to be here and sharing our experiences as three women in the TV and film industry. Today on the pod, we have myself, Monique Schwaneman, Hannah Beth, and
Jessica Payne. Today we are talking about planting the seeds for your career. We have talked a lot about this in years past because it's so important and a great thing to remind ourselves during slow times, i.e. pandemics, strikes, holidays, and now natural disasters.
As you guys know, we work in a very hurry up and wait industry, but waiting doesn't mean we aren't doing things. The slow times can feel disheartening, but it's important to know that this is when you are doing the most work to set yourself up for success and starting to make your career moves.
yes.
Amen.
Amen.
Snaps.
Amen, sister friend.
All right. So what is it that we're doing / have we done in the past to make things happen?
Before we get into this incredible episode, we want to share with you all the exciting news happening over on our Patreon. We give updates on current productions, tips on how and why we do certain things in pre- and post-production, and a plethora of terms explained to you that you will hear on set and in the production world. So join us over on Patreon for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/oldgirlsentertainment. Well, I think first you gotta dream it. You gotta know where you gotta dream stuff. That's what I literally wrote. First, dream it. So,
That's my favorite.
first, dream it.
First, I'm pretty sure that's like a poster in an elementary school class.
100%. Once we get our branding materials, you can purchase it from our store.
You miss shots you don't take.
Yeah.
Amen.
So you might have already done this when you did your goal setting. If you did goal setting for 2025, and you can go back and listen to that ep if you want some tips and helpful ways to do that. But yeah, you're not going to be able to solidify where you're going or steps to do that without, thinking big, thinking small. What do you long-term, what do you want your life to look at? It helps people to do that. Like, this year I want, 5 years I want, 10 years I want, or it sometimes just helps to have an overarching, what do I want from this? And it helps to have all of them if that's what your jam is. But what does your dream career look like? I think that's a great question to start off with. That just made me think of The Sound of Music. It's a very good place to start. Anyways.
Well, I feel like with goals for like a new year, like resolutions and stuff, I go ham and I say a lot of things that I've said for a lot of years. And then there's a new year, and then a new year happens, and then I say, oh, I didn't do most of those things. And I think it's normal for people, so I feel like that has to be okay. But just taking the time to at least reflect and see, and like you said, like the different increments of time, because some things can happen in a week or whatever, and some things have to happen in like a decade or so.
Yeah, and as we talk about planting these seeds, planting seeds are those small little actions that you do ultimately to build up to that big goal and to have all of those things. When we talk to our guests on this podcast, they're like, oh, this happened because I worked with this person and they brought me on. And then I met with this person and I said hi to this person. And all of that is groundwork, is you planting the seed so that it gives you those opportunities when things do cultivate and come together. And this is a time of a year where I think people are making those big decisions. They're setting goals, but then also this is a massive time of the year when people move. Like it's it's that summertime or end of summer, or it's right now in January. I know a ton of people who sign new leases, people moving out of LA, people moving into LA, staying active in your career. Either way, whether you move out of LA and you still want to do this, which one of our friends is doing right now with the hopes of coming back, just, taking those steps in their personal life and financially. And then, so how to stay active doing that. And then how to stay active if you do live in this city or whatever city you're in and getting into that market.
Yeah, I think that's a very, especially moving in and out of LA, I think that needs to be, I don't know, acceptable is not the right word, but a lot of people do it. because it is really expensive to live here. And when you're just getting started, and a lot of opportunities are outside of LA now. So it's nice to kind of have a home base here. So when you meet people in those other cities, a lot of the times they know about different people in LA or organizations or whatever. So it's nice to have the network. But I think it needs to be like, okay, normalized, thank you, to go back and forth or leave and like you can stay in the career. You know, it's
Yeah. Well, and right now, so much of it is online. Like, I mean, obviously, if you're like coming into act and the shoot is in LA, then you do have to be here in person for that at least. But like there's so many self tapes. Who knows where you're taking those self tapes for
yeah,
or from? And then also, even when you do get a job, like those jobs, like they may be for a few months, but then they end. You know, we've talked about that all the time, that this is a gig based industry. And so, or maybe you're here for a few years, you have a job for a few years because you have a few seasons of a show or whatever. But again, it does like end at some point. Or even if you come in for a commercial, those are usually only a few days. So whatever it is, like, yeah, it doesn't mean you failed because you have to like move back for a little bit or the time being.
yeah. I think I've seen that more this year than I ever have living here. And it's all people that are really good at their craft, that I really respect, and they're not quitting by any means. I'm seeing them do their stuff in another city. It might be a smaller market, which is not a bad thing. That can really help you when you're coming up. But yeah, it's kind of like it's made me think like, okay, well that's an option. So how do we look forward? Like where do we go from here, basically?
Yeah, the main thing is to keep plugging away, keep trucking away at whatever your field and your discipline is that you want to go into.
And
So let's
whatever
talk.
whatever connections you've made while you were here, keeping those up virtually, like via social media or texting or whatever, calling, whatever it is that you're doing, still keeping a feel on those networking opportunities that you've created while you were down here.
Especially with this feature and development that we have there, we have called upon friends in the industry to read it for their expertise, just and like involving them in it. And these are not people that we talked to years ago and then we haven't talked to them since, and now we're asking for an ask. These are people that we value and or we know are great in their field. And they're also people, we enjoy as human beings. But the point is that we keep in contact with them. It's not like, oh, I'm asking you to do this, and now 2 years later, I'm asking you to do this. I'm going to check in with you. So, just a reminder, first of all,
especially since half the city has been destroyed with the fire.
100%. I'm not asking you to do something while your home possibly burned. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, and then you're also checking in on people. Like,
Yes.
I've had so many texts like come to me being like, you good? Like just making sure.
I just had one come in right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It goes way further, even like even a you good. Like that goes way further than I think people realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially because you get a lot of people here that are just so like, go, 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 which isn't a bad thing. But sometimes it's like, let's say you get a text. I just had this with like a boss this week of like, hi, hope you're safe. Hey, are you going to be able to finish this by like Friday?
Oh my God.
It's one of those things where it's like, of course you're staying on top of your work and you have to, you have that dynamic. But when there's just kind of this disregard, that's when you're just like, okay, come on. That's why it's good.
It's clear you're only talking to me because you need something from me.
Exactly. You didn't just be like, hey, I know
I'm just thinking
LA's
of you.
burning. Yes. Yeah. So I think just those small things go a long way and can really help you in the long run.
So a reminder to be human when you plant your seeds. Oh my God. Okay. So what are we doing? What are we doing to plant our seeds? Who wants to go? Okay, Hannah. Yeah, take it.
Take it away.
Whereas for the listeners at home, I looked away quickly, like in class.
No one look at me on this
Don't make
Zoom
eye
call.
contact with the teacher.
Don't make
Just
eye
don't
contact
do
with
it.
the teacher, and then they choose you.
Be like, oh, who's not looking at me?
But I'm like, this year, last year, I had a lot of goals, and then I had a lot of life hit me sideways.
Yeah.
So a lot of great things happened last year, but a lot of not career related things. So I feel like I'm kind of like taking like last year's goals and like putting them back to this year to be like, all right, here's the reset. You went through your stuff. Let's figure this out. So I am getting back into groundlings. So taking classes, that's a big one. Financially, it can be really hard. But you have to find your ways with different jobs, or hopefully you have someone that can help out in like the interim. I've also been submitting to agencies, mostly commercial and print right now. And that way, just at least like being active in auditions, and pitching to reps. That's definitely a learning curve. My friend was like, oh, submit to this agency. I'm signed with them and whatever. And she's like, I just sent them a really short little blurb about myself. And so that's what I did. And it was good, but it was short. And then she sent me what she sent the agency and got signed with. And it was way more comprehensive. And I was like, oh, maybe that's what we do. So it's just like those learning curves of like what different people want. And sometimes they're just looking for something totally different, as we've talked about.
Yeah, like how much more comprehensive? Like, was it like in terms of length? Was it like you sent like a 3 sentence and then she sent like a 3 paragraph, or what?
Yeah, like mine was 3 sentences, and it was very much like, I am this age, this hair color, my name, my height, kind of like a fun little silly, like, oh, I've performed here and here and here and all the back alleys of Hollywood. I have training at Groundlings and XYZ, blah, 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 blah. So it was really quick. And then hers was similar, but she highlighted a few more things that like some of her sketch groups she's been in, which I'm also in, and like different things that I'm like, oh, that would have been smart, and I didn't even think about it. So it was probably like 2 paragraphs that she did. And I was like, because you want to keep it short and sweet with that stuff.
Right.
But you also,
Yes. I was just going to say, I think you should still keep the essence of, that brevity.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where you figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But guess what? You hit that send button.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what it's about. Because I've had this conversation with Jessica so many times. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I'm going to hit send. And then Jessica's like, hit it right now. Let me watch you hit the send button. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to read it over a few more times. Like, I'll read it over tonight. And she's like, no, it's ready. You need to send it. I'm like,
brutal.
yeah. Yeah.
She's brutal.
Jessica's a hard ass.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I say do it or I'll kick you in the shins.
Oh, millennial catchphrase.
Is it?
I think it's from a movie.
Oh.
Is it? I did not know that.
I just thought it was funny in the shins.
It is funny. You created it all on your own, sweetie. All right. What else? What else are we doing? Did we talk about that? You're writing every day, both of you.
I am.
Girl,
writing
every day, please calm down.
Yeah, every day is like a really kind, generous thing to say.
Every day so far today?
Not
What
even
is that?
today
I don't
yet.
know what that means.
I woke up and came to the podcast. I was doing my makeup still when we logged on.
And you look better than all of us, mind you. So
That's not true. That's not true. We're all beautiful in our own special way that we all look alike too.
It's that zillennial skin.
Zillennial. It's bouncy.
Check my bounce.
Check it out.
Mine's like a dead trampoline.
Oh my
with a hole in it.
God.
Anyways,
It's
to writing.
Like It's just because
Supple.
supple cheeks. I've been writing more sketch within the last, I'd say, like 4 or 5 months. A lot more sketch because I'm in a sketch group. I took a sketch class and just wanted to practice that. And then also working on a new script with my lover, and that's going really well. And he and I really like how that's coming about. And it's kind of nice because it's like, you know, how we hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of that.
And you live with them, so or you're with each other a lot, so it's that
Yeah.
constant accountability. You look at their face and you're like, fuck, we gotta write this.
Yeah, there's a little bit of like, one of us will have an idea and be like, okay, so we have to sit down. And then like, one of us will be like, we gotta do that. And like the other day I took a shower and I like ran out of the shower and I was like, I figured out this one part. It was a little neurotic, but so yeah.
Okay, but doesn't it always happen in the shower? For me, it always happens in the shower when I'm driving because that's when I can I'm not stimulated by stuff.
I feel the same way.
Which sucks because that's when you cannot be writing anything.
I know.
That's when I have my best arguments with people in my head.
Yeah, in the shower. It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
When I used to run, I would have them too. Do you have that, Jessica, when you go for a run?
Girl, no. For when I'm running, I'm like, I can't form thoughts or anything. I'm like,
really? That's because when I
mean, I do a little bit, but like it doesn't end up anything. Not like when I'm for writing, no, but like for the argument bit, maybe. But like it just turns out into like nothing because then I think about like a good point to make, and then I'm like, how much longer do I have? So
that's funny. That I feel like that was a good time for me. I would run and I'd be like, yeah. But I like the argument. I feel like that actually is more helpful to get done.
Yes, but at the same time, it's like all for naught because the argument's over, babe. Typically at that point, right?
Yeah, usually, unless,
maybe it's ongoing.
How about 2025? Bring those arguments back up.
Bring the petty back.
Bring the petty back. What else are we doing? It's all burning down. It's okay.
Literally.
So writing. What else are we doing?
Well, Jessica, what's your writing routine? I shared mine.
I just write sometimes.
No, you just wrote a pilot, so don't.
Yes.
I wrote a pilot.
Minimize it. You already wrote a feature that's in development, and then you just wrote a pilot. This, finished it this week. So
true. So that happened. Also, what I do whenever, like, luckily we have each other, and I love because writing I feel like is so isolated, or it can be, at least the way I do it. And I don't have like a collaborator with me. But I then bring it to y'all and then we do like little mini table reads, which I'm reading half of it. And I hate the way I read out loud. And I'm very critical too, in terms of like my writing so it's not really great, but y'all come in and you're like, laugh at the good parts or whatever. So that's nice, which I don't know if that's like necessarily like, planting seeds, but at least it keeps me motivated. It is
because you've written something, I think, in a completely different genre than you've written before. So
true.
A seed of this. So you right now, and I mean, we want to make this, like Hannah and I both fell in love with it already. But I remember you saying the goal is, as a writer pitching to writers' rooms, you want to be able to have a script for different genres. So if I want to go on this, I want to have a backup for any show I could potentially be staffed on or shadow on or whatever. And you are doing that right now because you have dramas.
I'm building my repertoire.
Totally. This is a, total comedy dramedy. So this is you planting your seeds, because when someone, last year, if someone said, can you send me a comedy script, you wouldn't have had it, but now you do.
True.
Oh, I was excited. True. Because Jess, you do have kind of like this specific style that you do. And this was so different, but so good. And I was like, oh.
Please keep it coming.
Okay. But it was actually pretty bad.
But actually keep drafting, please.
But it was just cool because I was like, you were like, it's a comedy, and I was like, just a comedy.
You just decided to write a comedy? Okay, all right,
Yeah,
let's see
I was
how
like,
this is.
and I was like, oh shit, this is fun. It was great.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're writing, we're doing that. Also, sorry, I know that was kind of like, yay, okay, let's stop. No, but we're writing, we're obviously too, like all of us kind of coming together and everything for that, for different, I don't know, for that, keeping each other going, which I think is also a really big deal. But also I've put our feature in different writing competitions, so we're just waiting on that, on like things to be announced. And we have festivals
They've gone
going,
into
applying to
we're not allowed to say it.
fellowships. Huh?
We've gotten some accolades already
Yes,
that
we
we
have
will
gotten
share soon.
semifinalists, quarterfinalists. We'll see what happens when it keeps going, or if it keeps going. So that's exciting. Snaps for that. But that's obviously something that you put in and then you wait a few months out until you can actually get the results, if you get the results. And then same with like applying for like fellowships or for different programs or whatever it is,
Yes.
Go ahead.
So the goal is we have a feature in development. The goal is we want to make it. The main goal is we want to make it. Like, it's not just like we want it to get made, but we want to be the filmmakers telling it, which is hard because this is going to be a big budget film with, newer filmmakers.
And we are
for
not
features at
millionaires
least.
yet.
Right. Yeah. But hey, shout out to the millionaires. Like, get in on the ground level of this. Anyway, so what we're doing is we have applied
We
for
have
fellowships
millionaire
and
ideas. Millionaire,
Yeah.
billionaire ideas. We'll make you
Ooh,
money,
love it. Love it.
but we don't have
Uh,
money yet.
But if you do, holler at your old girls.
Is this a pitch now?
Yeah, this is now it turned into a pitch. Anyways, so yeah, but we have all those things in place. Speaking of a pitch, so we have a script. We know we're going to need a pitch. We have a pitch deck. We've sent it off to people for notes. We've made adjustments. We've applied to mentorships. So right now we are heavily I mean, I think the seeds are already gone. The seeds have been planted. Now we're just trying to water it. If we're sticking with the plant metaphor for the
I
plant
love that
mommies out
metaphor.
there. Jessica, I'm looking at you. Yeah, because so again, keeping in perspective, what is your main goal? The main goal is making it. Okay, that sounds like such a daunting and a big task. Like, where the fuck do we even start? It's like, okay, what do we need? We need a script. We need, a log line. And so what we've done is we've applied for things. We've, gotten coverage from the script. So we have a successful log line, and just, piling up those dominoes. So once it's done, the dominoes fall into the successful plant. Yay,
Okay, we
flowers.
just love the dominoes into a plant.
No,
I mean, I had to tie it back.
that's what happens.
Love it.
No, but it is really.
We're really firing on all 4 cylinders over here, just saying.
Yeah.
We're killing it.
As a 3-cylinder crew.
Emma's our 4th cylinder.
Yeah, and Emma's asleep, so that's why we suck right now, okay?
No, I mean, it is such a good point that it's just like these small things you do need to do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was like thinking of another metaphor we could put in there.
Let's hear it.
I can't. Right.
Well, but for me as a producer and an actor, I'm not a writer by any means. Like, before meeting and working with Jessica, and this might sound stupid to a lot of you, but like, I didn't know there were competitions just for scripts from a lot of these like major film companies, or I'm sorry, film festivals. And some that are solely just film festivals dedicated to scripts and screenwriters. And so gaining that momentum and being able to slap some laurels on this script and say it's already been read and vetted by these people, like those are planting the seeds, because you're going to be so much stronger for doing that ahead of time when you're pitching or trying to make something or attach people to things. And even if it's attaching like your friends to things, or people that are like, friends of friends or acquaintances, if they see that you have the wherewithal to put together a pitch deck or to put together a treatment or a stunning log line, they're going to be more confident in investing in you.
I also think it's a matter of once you've put all that together, like all those pieces allow you to understand like the vision or the essence of the story, or like understand the marketability of the story, to then be able to pitch it. So it does allow you to do a little bit more research beyond just like understanding it on a story level, but on a like, how are all these people going to see it? This is why this character is important and why you should audition for this character, because this character is like kick-ass because of XYZ. And this is the arc that they go on. And then same with this character. And then also in terms of for production companies, this is relevant because blah, 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 blah. And because it's timely and because it's personal or whatever it is, you know, all the little different things that you're kind of explaining
that sell it.
and that sell it exactly to the audience. And yeah, it just allows you to understand it and like builds your own confidence when you do get into rooms or when you do have to go in and like pitch it and everything.
Absolutely. What other seeds?
And then speaking of, again, we've already touched on it a little bit, but networking events, staying connected.
And if you're not even sure where to begin, like we'll link some stuff down below, like the where to submit for film festivals or script competitions. You could check out the show notes for that. But if you're not even sure where to begin, or you haven't written anything, or maybe you're an actor and you're like, well, I don't want to write, but I want to be connected with people. Maybe go on Film Freeway or go on Seed and Spark, which is, you know, an indie crowdfunding campaign, and look up some filmmakers or look up what, you know, a lot of film festivals, some of them are like niche or some of them are looking for very specific things, and maybe finding one that really speaks to you. And maybe this year going to that film festival so you can meet filmmakers that you are interested in working with.
Yeah. Another thing too, I want to point out with the writing and the festivals or the script competitions, a lot of times they have an option where it's more expensive, but like you then pay if you don't have any type of if you don't have an in the industry, or maybe you write and like you don't have anyone that like knows about writing, I guess, in terms of like script form or whatever it is, you can pay for coverage of the script, and then they'll send back coverage of like where they think that it can be improved on, or where you need like a better story arc, or this character seems a little foggy. So you can actually hear and see what it is that another person who's not been inside your head and like understands the story, like just what it is on the page, and maybe where they're confused, or maybe where they're thinking differently of the script than what you intend it to be. So that's another thing that you can do is, you know, get some coverage on your scripts when you apply to those competitions.
And of season 2 of this Get Set podcast, season 2, episode 16, we have a script coverage person.
Woo, woo.
Kate Bailey. So if you want to reach out to her information is in season 2, episode 16 of this podcast, or you could also find her on Instagram at Kate BAI and reach out to her there.
Yeah, you can.
So we're trying to connect you too. We're trying to we're not just trying to talk at you, but this is the whole purpose of this podcast is, you know, sharing people's experiences and what they do and how we can demystify this.
And she is 100% vetted by us, because on the feature
film, we used her.
Yeah, on the feature film I wrote, we used her, and she gave back some lovely coverage.
Lovely coverage, but like
and useful
so
coverage.
Detailed.
Yes.
Beautiful coverage. She really took her time with this and gave back literally pages of feedback. It was wonderful. So highly, highly recommend.
Yeah, professional feedback.
It's such an art form in and of itself to be able to do that, and to do it where it's like you do it well, you give it detailed, but it's also you're not tearing anybody down.
Right.
And, like you're like, this is how to make it better. Great job. Here you go.
And again, if you listen to the episode, like you'll hear more of her backstory, but she does this for companies, for major production
network
companies.
shows.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then if she'll read scripts as they come in and then kind of be like, recommend, or maybe we can consider this, or no, this isn't in our market. So she's like well aware of what the market is and then
And what's being
delivers
written
that
right
in those
now.
notes. Yeah. And then delivers that in the notes in that, like, maybe this needs to be worked at, or I could see it as like a this type of project or whatever it is.
The relevancy. That's
Right.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, just getting those
So
happening.
we're taking classes, we're writing, we're applying for fellowships and competitions. We've already mentioned going to networking events. Now, we kind of briefly mentioned emailing. But I mean, what are you going to do when you don't know anyone, but you have the biggest free marketing resource, which is emails, other than social media? Let's talk about the art of the cold email. And a cold email is like someone you don't know. Because we've sent a lot of cold emails these past 2 weeks and it's very stressful, but we feel so good. Like maybe 10 minutes after we hit send. Not really right after, but like 10 minutes after we reread it, it still looks good.
Yeah, right
And
after I'm
then
still shaking. And then 10 minutes later after a glass of champagne, I feel way better.
I was just going to say, you take a sip of a mimosa and you feel a little better. Or your green juice, whatever you decide.
Yeah, maybe a glass of water. I don't know. Whatever you want to do.
Ice cold.
Tap water, you're lukewarm.
Yeah, whatever you
That's
do,
been
just
Brita
drink
filtered.
after for sure. Get some liquids in you. You feel better.
I will say taking a shot of water actually makes me drink water. Highly recommend.
Monique's up in the club, dude.
Drinking shots of water, spoken from the mom.
Like, really, really lets me drink all the water I need.
So yes, a cold email. Keeping it brief, like Hannah already mentioned when she's applying, I think the main thing is, and the thing that I've struggled with, like on the third draft of the email, I usually get it, but we've said this before together, Jess. When I first construct the email, you've asked me like, why are we reaching out to this person? Like, what is the ask?
Yeah.
And being specific about that ask. Because if you're just like, hey, here's a script I wrote, send, chances are
they're gonna be like, who the F is this?
Yeah, well, yeah. Who the F is this? Maybe they're a friend of a friend. Maybe they know you, but also like, what are you asking for? Because if you just send them a script unsolicited, either they're not going to read it or they're going to email you back if they are, nice and decide to take the time and be like, what do you want from me? So let's eliminate that. What do you want from me question. I know it's like sometimes hard for people, me included, to ask for what you want. But you have to, and there's no shame in it, and it'll actually help you tenfold. So crystallizing what you want from this person. If you know this person works in finance, what are you asking? Like, hey, I'm working on the budget for this. Like, do you see this being a 1 million, a 2 million, or like a ultra low budget? Like what, like if you were to take a glance at this, what would that be? Obviously, you're not going to ask somebody, can you do my whole budget? Like, no, they're not. That's someone you hire on. But getting specific about, first of all, doing your research and knowing what their expertise are, and then asking them a simple, maybe 10-minute task inside their expertise. I mean, or it could be like, they're reading a script. So they could be taking out like an hour or 2 hours of their day to do this for you.
Well, and then I also always think of like the cold emails too that I would send for as a PA to try and get a job. And it was like literally the simplest thing ever where it was just like, hey, I'm a PA available for work in the LA area. This is my phone number and attached is my resume. And they get it,
Done.
Send.
I remember when Jess was doing that and she was so organized. She had like an Excel spreadsheet.
She was like mass emailing.
We have this for this feature too. She's like, this is when we contacted them. And this, again, planting seeds because in a month we're going to follow up.
Well, and that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing, right? Is like trying to be impossible to ignore. Oh, basically. Not spamming them, not every day following up and being like, "Hey, did you get my email?" No. But in a few months, like, because maybe they did get your email and they just didn't have, like, in that moment they were busy or didn't have a chance or whatever it is. But just always being like basically like setting a little reminder for them, like, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Yeah.
Totally. And I mean, of course, yes, there are people that text you and that you don't want to respond to, and then you don't, or like, it's like, oh, sorry, you must have missed this. That's fine. That does happen. However, a lot of times, and this has happened to me too, like actors who are friends have sent me their reels for me to watch. And it's like, I'm taking care of the kids, or I'm driving, or I'm out in public. I don't have time to watch, you know, a 1 to 5 minute thing at this moment because, yeah, maybe I'm driving or whatever, but I absolutely want to do it. And then I feel horrible when it's like a week or two later and I haven't done that. And I'm like, fuck, I really wish they would have like texted me and, I mean, they already sent it to me. But what I'm saying is, in all of those circumstances, I would have been fine with someone nudging me or emailing me.
Yeah, I'll also have it, which sounds like a me problem because it probably is, but I'll have my Apple Watch on. And like I get the notification if I'm doing something, I get the notification that, a text message was sent. I can read the text message on my Apple Watch, but if it's like I need to respond to it using my phone, but I can't right now, then I'm like, oh, okay, dismiss, and then move on to it. And then it like in my phone, for some reason, it says that I've like read it, that I've actually like read the text message, and it
Right.
will no longer be like at the top of my thing with like a little one, message thing
Yeah.
where it's like a notification. And if I don't remember, an hour later when I'm actually available to sit down and respond to it, then it's gone forever.
I know. I do the same. And I've started trying to do the unread. Like if I read something that I know I need to respond to, I try to mark it as unread again in that
Can you
moment.
do that on an Apple Watch?
I don't know if you can do it. I haven't worn it.
Oh, no, I do that on emails all the time. Yeah.
But I'll read something. I'll be like, okay, this is important. And then I have to like, because otherwise I will read it and I will respond to you in my brain.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah, so basically follow up.
Following up. Yeah, that's a huge part of cold emails. It's if you don't get a response, whatever. Or sometimes, like it's happened to me where like I'm so stressed out and I send an email and the email comes back because the email is no longer valid or whatever. So then, well, I mean, yeah, like as we've discovered, IMDb is not always updated. So it's, because it's on whoever that person is to update their page, or their reps, or a random person can submit a change. So anyways, it's
That's
not
another
always,
thing.
yeah.
Though that's another thing that we can be doing quietly during these like times where maybe things aren't like quite running yet, but people are starting to like kind of make steps or whatever. But you can do your branding, so you can get your headshots done or updated if they need to be, and then also update your websites, update your Instagram, update your what else? What other things are we updating?
Yes.
Our IMDb or LinkedIn or whatever it is that you're going to use to do business on.
First quarter
Because if
2025, update it.
because if someone asks you for like you're asking for a meeting or you're asking for an audition, but then let's say in 5 minutes they shoot back, okay, send me your reel, and you don't have one. To me, that's doing you more a disservice that you sent that email than anything. Because they're like, oh, I don't. I mean, and if you don't have a reel yet because you're so new, that's fine. Just be like, I just got out of blah, blah, blah class. I'm still putting together this, and that's fine. But if you've worked on stuff, or if you have the ability to put a package together and do something, do it. You really shouldn't. This is just as an actor, you shouldn't be emailing to people unless you have a headshot, just because that's our calling card. You need that. Writers and directors, you will have your things like, reels and resumes and things like that.
Well, and that's another thing too, is yes, you can send out an email of like, hey, this is the log line of this thing that I'm working on. And then they'll ask for, do you have a pitch deck? Do you have a series
Do you have a
Bible?
script?
Do you have a script? Yeah.
I've heard of
maybe you're trying to get hired to, maybe you've pitched a show and you're trying to get hired to then write that script or whatever. But at least you need to have like, it can't just be like a whisper of an idea. It has to be like a full-fledged something, you know?
Yeah, because if you haven't taken the time to do it,
To do the
why are they going
groundwork,
to
yeah.
take a chance on you and hire you to do it then? Like you can submit scripts to people, but usually what I hear, usually what I've heard is that if you want to work on a show, because Jessica, when we were at the film festival and we're at the writers panel, that's what they said. They were like, I sent them example scripts of if you have me on your show, this is a sample episode, because they've watched the show, they know the tone, they understand the characters. It's not just I'm sending you a bunch of my writing samples. It's very honed in and it's very concise. So the groundwork of what do I want to do? First of all, where do I want to do it? Who do I want to work with? Which you can find out on IMDb. Who are they repped by? Which you can find out on IMDb Pro. And honing all of your marketing materials. That is so much. Those are so much seeds. So many seeds.
So much seeds.
I guarantee you, not everyone has that. I need to update some of my stuff.
Oh my gosh, my website, I was still blonde. Like I have not.
My website has I can't change it because it's the domain name that I need to change, but it has my old name, like my maiden name or whatever.
Are you using your married name as your professional name now?
Mm-hmm.
You are.
I mean, they're both difficult, so whatever.
Yeah.
We're not working with a Monique Smith here.
No.
Well, last name.
I'm not going to say difficult. I'm going to say unique.
Unique.
And dynamic.
And many syllables and consonants.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is something stupid that I do. I do that all the time. I'm like, is my name too long? Sarah Jessica Parker, 7 syllables. Okay, got to keep it 7 syllables or less. That's something I do constantly. I'm like, should I use both names?
Oh, yeah.
Should I use this name? And I'm like, what celebrity has the longest fucking name and they're still successful? Okay. Because it literally I think I'm just going, I mean, you're on the ground level of my rebranding. I think I'm just going to go with my first and last name and not my maiden name as my middle name. Because literally on the credit, first of all, on the call sheet, you can't even read my name because they put in all 3 names and it's so tiny. And then on the credits, I'm looking and I'm like, it all barely fits or it takes up 2 lines or like whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm just making people's lives difficult at this point, or it's just a me, again, it's a me problem. But
I mean, I don't know. I feel like do what you want to do. But if that bugs you, then...
But it bugs me. That's
okay.
why, yeah, it bugs me. Yeah. If you can't read my name on the call sheet because the print is so small, that bothers me.
True.
Because those call sheets are so small, Anyways, okay. So talking about rebranding, we got another redhead in the group.
Oh, yeah. I dyed my hair.
I dyed my hair.
Big things. I did it. Well, this will tell you how much I've worked on my website. I put my website together like this time last year. I'm pretty sure I finished it. Like I published it in January. It was December or January. And
it's beautiful.
Thank you. I like it a lot. But it's all my pictures from when I was blonde, and then I dyed my hair in June to red, and I've kept it up, and I still am a blonde per my website. So
how dare you?
Yeah, I know. But
your red looks so good, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah. I need to know who you go to because my person moves states.
Oh, really? It's literally just my friend. I go to his house and he does not charge much at all. And he's
I need
good with color. And we just like, it's not much. So I try to bring like a bottle of champagne and we sit there. And
I love bartering with champagne.
Yeah. So he's great. I can definitely give you his information.
Yeah.
Should we rebrand from old girls to 2 redheads and a blonde?
2 redheads and a blonde. 2
and then as if it's the start of a joke. That sounds like the start
2 redheads and a blonde walk into a bar. They start a podcast. The end.
That's it.
The end. Don't forget to rate and review.
But so I was talking with a friend of mine. Maybe we can hopefully get her on. She's an actor. She does work as a crew member as well, but she went to a specific branding person before she did her headshot sessions, which I've done before too. I've gone to a wardrobe consultant. I've assisted a marketing company for actors in a past life, and there's so much work that goes into that, and I don't think that people realize. And headshots are not just for actors; they're for, I mean, everyone ultimately needs a headshot, whether it's for like a professional job, for LinkedIn, for your book cover,
Honestly,
for
a girl needs a headshot. I don't
everyone
have
needs a
one.
headshot. Everyone needs a
Yeah.
headshot, especially because our media is so visual. And if people see your face, they're going to remember you probably more than just a name. Like now if I see her on the street or at the grocery store, I could be like, "Oh my God, like you're the person who emailed me." It just gives you more opportunity to keep that connection,
I
I think.
also feel like, especially now in the way storytelling is going, people really care about the storytellers and like their experience and like in life and everything. Like that is becoming more and more important. And so I think that, yeah, just being able to have something so that people know, like, okay, a woman is actually telling a woman's story versus a man telling a woman's story, or like that authenticity is really, really important. So,
Especially if your name could go either way. It
right.
would be cool to be able to it's just cool to put a name to a face.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and people will remember it more. But if you are doing headshots for a particular, I mean, you are doing headshots for a particular reason. So, I always do. I research the photographer. Or even if my friend's doing it, which I was doing in the beginning for not that much money or free, I'd pull sample shots from photographers on Instagram. I'd pull that together and I'd say, I want to look like this. I want to look like this. I want a backgrounds like this. I want the lighting like this. I don't know shit about design, but I looked, then I went to the shows that I want to be on. I looked at those actors. I went on those actors' IMDb's. I saw what their headshots looked like. I saw who their reps were. And so all of this informed me planting seeds again for my prep work before I even go into my headshot session. And so, yeah, where I was going with this is one of our friends was doing this and she was talking about it and I'm like, "Oh, I have like my 8-page headshot prep. It's catered to me, but do you want it?" And she's like, "Fuck yeah, I want it." Because it's detail it's every shot has, what am I wearing? What is my hair going to look like? Also because you get the most out of your money that way. I love paying for the unlimited shots for an hour instead of like I'm paying for 3 shots, because again, I know I'm organized and I'm like I'm going to do a quick change. And so I have to have all of those things planned out, and planned out with like minimal makeup to more makeup at the end, just so I can keep adding it on, because you can't take away a red lip easily. So it's, all of these factors.
Yeah, I think also another really big key thing that you said in terms of like planting seeds, essentially what you're talking about right now was like marketing research,
Yes.
to see like what's out there and everything and what headshot types you might want to get. But even if it's like writing, if it's directing, even if it's acting, you're also doing your research both of like what's on TV right now, what's on what commercials are showing right now, what are the different types for uh character types for films, or even just like going in trying to keep your tools sharp. Let me try and like memorize this monologue and just like jot it down real, or like kind of break it down real quick. Let me read this script. Let me read this acting book or this writing book or this directing, whatever it is. You're also, or let me go to a comedy show and see what's like kind of the fresh takes on things right now, or maybe even too, what's going on in the world. Like, let's watch the news and see all the crazy shit that's happening right now that I could potentially try and pull something funny out of it. It's about like, it's essentially just like researching anything and everything that you can during these like quiet times to then be able to use for inspiration or for knowledge of like what's out there in the moment.
Because when you think about it, how often do you watch the news before these fires? Not often. For me, I would get it from social media, or and on the other side of that, how often do you watch commercials? How, we're in
I'm
the age
always
of like
skipping ads.
streaming.
I hate ads. I said I'm always skipping the ads.
Right. Or it says skip now. However, if you want to work in commercials, why are you skipping those ads?
Mic drop. That's actually a really good point.
Right? I just remember I had this thought the other week where like I couldn't skip through a commercial, and I watched it and I was like, oh, I liked that one. I haven't seen a commercial. That was really funny and that was really authentic, and I just realized in that moment, like, oh, dude, I haven't seen many commercials lately. And one of them was I was just thinking as it was like the holidays time, and I was like, how do kids know what they want for Christmas? Because like I would know based on like whatever Disney and Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network commercials like for toys and everything. And I was like,
we had Toys R Us and the
anymore.
catalog that we would circle
and
put stickers next to it. Be
So
like,
how do they reach
love
you?
it. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. So it's like you're building your wish list for Christmas. You got to figure out what those toys are. You got to,
Amazon has a toy catalog that comes out during Christmas.
Oh, I do get that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amazon does.
But if you don't want to feed the beast that is Amazon.
But you could still buy it and then buy the toy somewhere else, or like get the catalog and buy the toy somewhere else.
For sure. Yeah. Because it's all pretty.
I mean, I feel like that's what parents would do anyways with Toys R Us, because Toys R Us was usually pretty expensive.
There literally is almost no toy store anymore. So like you have to get everything online anyways, but
yeah. I love that you added another metaphor.
I'm just chock full of the momisms,
of the Christmas list shopping. Okay,
plant your seeds so that the trees can get cut down and be made into these catalogs.
Oh my God, global warming. Why are we talking about this right now? I mean, I know the world's ending, but just don't think about it and it'll be fine.
Right.
Guys, the world's ending, but please stick to your goals.
Stick to your goals, plant your seeds. Even if all of the trees are burning, we could still plant our seeds.
Cut out that CO2 emission.
For real.
Plant your seeds. But
we hope you're safe. Yeah.
And I think also another really big thing to remember is that all of these things you're doing, and we've all had examples of it, and I've like spoke about it in ad nauseum. Like, is that a word? I don't know. I've been using it a lot lately. I don't.
Ad nauseum, yeah.
Ad nauseum. Ad nauseum. Yeah. Okay. Dear Lord. I've been speaking ad nauseum about it like since the beginning, like with the pandemic of like, I wrote chapters then, and I wrote Rivers and Crows, and like my one pilot then. And then, months later
your first pilot, because now you have another one, not your one pilot.
Yeah, true. We shot chapters like months later, and then like months later after that, then it like we started putting it into festivals and it started getting in places, and then that's when Old Girls came around, and then that's when and then I had the pilot and I put that into a festival, and then like again like a year later and then a year later it won that festival or whatever it is, so it takes so much time. But those seeds of like the 2020 thing started because I decided to sit down and write something, but then it was like 2022 when a lot of the stuff, like a lot of the payoff actually happened. So,
right. So still plant the seeds, even though you may not see the payoff for weeks or months or years.
Yeah. And you don't know what's going to work and what's not going to work. If you send out the cold emails and maybe you don't get a response, from this person, you send out another one to another one. That's when you get the response. Or again, with my cold emails that I've sent out to so many different ADs, maybe I don't get a response from them like that, at all. Like, but then a year later, someone says like a second AD contacts me and is like, hey, I got your resume from this person. And I look back and it's like, oh, I sent that person my resume a year ago. Do you know what I mean? So you just don't know, like, you don't know what those people are going to do with it and how they're going to, take that information. And maybe they don't have a spot for you or time for you at that moment, but then months down the line, years down the line, they will, so
yeah,
it's just a matter of
no right now might not mean a no forever.
Yeah. Amen.
Okay, right. So plant those seeds. Thanks for hopping on to another episode. We have an insane the wonderful guest coming up. So that will be happening in the next couple months or weeks, who knows. Yeah, but this season is coming to a close soon, and then we're gonna have another season later. But thank you so much. We love you guys.
Love you guys.
Go get set.
1, 2, 3.
Go get set.
There's
a delay.
Is that what it is?
I don't know what it is. Okay, guys, it's no surprise. We love you, and you love us. So show us a little more of that love. Subscribe, rate, review, and don't forget our Patreon at patreon.com/oldgirlsentertainment. Love you guys.
Okay.
Love it.
Cool.